Hi, welcome. This video is for parents, legal guardians, and any people who are caring for children who are signed up to take my self-defense class. So welcome. I'm so excited to be making this video for you. I'm first going to tell you a little bit about my teaching background. So way back in 1992, I participated in a one-year instructor training with a self-defense instructor who had been teaching for many years at the UCSD campus. That's where I was a student. I took numerous classes with her and then trained with her with a group of women for a year. And we completed that training in '92. So I have been teaching self-defense primarily to girls and women, and more recently to the broad spectrum of LGBTQ folks and all gender classes that include boys. So I taught for 11 years in the Santa Cruz area at the University of California, Santa Cruz, for the colleges and also for the Rape Crisis Program. And I taught for the city of Santa Cruz in their city run program. And I also taught classes for the Monterey Rape Crisis Center. I also, during that time, trained 5 instructors and led them through a year-long instructor training, just like the one I had. And then I moved to Sonoma County in early 2003 when I was pregnant with my daughter, who's now 21. And I taught classes for the Sebastopol Community Center, the Santa Rosa Recreation and Parks at the Finley Community Center. And then I created a website and a Facebook page and had a growing email list and just started finding different locations all throughout the county, like yoga studios, dance studios, fitness studios, and have been teaching in different locations throughout Sonoma County. I am also available to teach private classes, and people find my website and my Facebook page all throughout the year and hire me to come to their homes or to their workplace and teach private classes. So you are here because your child is signed up for my self-defense class, probably at their school, at their middle school or high school. So I want to go over what I cover in that class, just the bullet point version, the short version. So first of all, there's some really important information that I'm going to explain to your kids. One is, when do we have the legal right to physically hurt someone, causing possibly, hopefully, pain and injury to stop an assault, right? When do we have the legal right to use self-defense? So I want them to be really clear the difference between a fight where 2 people are escalating and engaging in a fight where it might escalate to a physical fight versus a situation where someone is the aggressor, you are being assaulted, and you are defending yourself. Very different dynamic. And we have the legal right to use physical self-defense when we are in imminent danger of serious bodily injury. Imminent means it's just about to happen. So I also explained to them, if someone punches you and runs away, you do not have the legal right to run, or we do not have the legal right to run after them and hit them back, okay? That would just be 2 crimes, 2 assaults. That is not self-defense. So other information includes the psychology of the attacker. Now I use that word, attacker. It means anyone, and I make it really clear that the attacker can be anyone. It could be someone you've known your whole life. It could be someone in your family. It could be an old family friend. It could be a neighbor. It could be an acquaintance. It could be a friend at school, and I put it in quotes because what friend would actually try to harm you or cross your boundaries or touch you in a way that you don't want to be touched? So always put that in quotes because I make it clear to the kids that is not a true friend. You might have thought of them as a friend before, but if this person you thought of as a friend is now touching you in a way that you don't want to be touched, or being aggressive or coercive or threatening in any way, or abusive, say if you're dating, then that is not a true friend. And we talk about walking away and ending those friendships or relationships with people who are unkind or disrespectful or aggressive or abusive in any way. So the attacker is very, very broad, including possibly strangers. Could be other children your same age, older children, or adults, people you know or you don't know. I always talk in every class about a wide range of possibilities and a wide range of people in our lives who may have shown themselves to be completely safe and appropriate and respectful, charming, intelligent, list all the positive qualities you can think of. People can present in those very positive ways for a very long time, and then all of a sudden they're behaving in a way that is totally unexpected, and it's not safe. And the person, the child, in this case your child, could potentially be in a situation like that where they're feeling nervous, uncomfortable, or scared, and they know what is happening is wrong. I also teach them about trusting their intuition. That's another topic, very important topic in my classes. How important it is to trust your gut, trust your intuition. If you have a bad feeling that something isn't right, something isn't wrong, like I shouldn't walk down that street, or I shouldn't go into that house, or I shouldn't go to that party with my friends, or I shouldn't cut school today, or I shouldn't drink that alcohol, or I shouldn't get in that car, right? Or I shouldn't be friends with that person, or I shouldn't date that person. If you have any kind of a gut feeling that something is wrong, then I always say 100% trust your intuition, trust your gut, and at least be very cautious and step back from the situation a bit so you can think about it. Talk to your parent, or talk to your counselor, or talk to your friend, or write in your journal, like process through the mixed feelings that you have until you get more clear about what is right for you and what's not right for you, and be more prepared to then either walk away, distance yourself, or speak up and say, I don't want to go out with you. What you said the other day was really not acceptable, and I'm not going to be your friend anymore. Things like that. I'm just throwing out a couple of examples. There are hundreds of examples, right? So I also talk a lot about peer pressure, which doesn't necessarily come directly from their peers, right? Sometimes kids are actually saying, hey, do this with me. Hey, take this drug, or smoke this cigarette, or drink this alcohol, or cut school with me, or, oh, we're out at night, bored, like walking through the community. Hey, I've got a can of spray paint. Let's spray paint the side of this building. Like, I will mention a whole bunch of situations that teens, our middle school and high school students, could possibly face, including dating situations, and talk about how just because a friend is doing that doesn't mean you have to join them. Doesn't mean it's okay for you. That you can say, hey, have fun, go do whatever you want, but I'm going to do something else, or I'm going to stay home tonight. So, or I have a different suggestion. Instead of spray painting the building, what if we go to the movies? So part of self-defense, a big part of self-defense, is how to handle common everyday situations, even with people that we like and love and know, when we have to set boundaries or redirect them or negotiate or just step away. Okay? So, peer pressure. But the other aspect of peer pressure is that it's often internal. As children, and really as adults, we make assumptions about what other people want us to do. Well, they'll like me if I follow along, or if I do XYZ, fill in the blank. And it's almost like we have the peers there, we're imagining their thoughts and feelings about us in our own minds, and they're not actually even saying anything to us directly. There's no actual pressure coming from another person, but we've somehow internalized that peer pressure, and we have our own assumptions about what we should be doing in order for people to like us. So especially at the middle school years, kids very, very much long to be connected with at least one good friend, if not a small group, have a sense of belonging. They want to be liked. They want approval from their peers. And of course, this is true with high school students as well, and also with adults. But in my experience teaching, middle school children are especially vulnerable to this at that age, because they very, very much are still forming. Their sense of self and their self-confidence might not be that strong, and they're feeling very dependent on approval from their peers. So we talk about that. Okay, I want to tell you about the physical techniques that I teach. So they are based on body weapons that every human being has, well, unless you're missing a body part, but for the most part, we all have body weapons and vulnerable targets on the attacker's body. So every attacker or every human, every person, no matter how big and strong, how tough and scary they might be, we all have vulnerable targets. The eyes, the nose, the throat, the solar plexus, the groin, the knees, and the feet. Those are the targets that I focus on in my classes. So these techniques are based on body weapons, like the palm to strike the nose, or the fingertips to strike the eyes, or the side of the arm to strike to a nose or the side of the face or a throat. The knee to do a knee to the groin. Your heel to stomp on someone's foot. The ball of your foot to kick, I can't demonstrate that in this video very well right now, but the ball of your foot to kick someone's knee, or to kick them in the shin, or possibly kick the groin. So our techniques, our success in real life situations is based on the fact that we're using body weapons against vulnerable targets, and we are channeling that adrenaline rush, right? We're all going to experience a fight or flight moment, right? Fight or flight, the brain releases adrenaline into the body and gives us a ton of energy to either run really fast or fight really hard. So they get a chance to practice those things on these mats. I call them mats, but they're really shields. They're used in martial arts classes and self-defense classes. They have these handles on the back. This is the smaller one that we use for the eye strikes. Here's one right here. You grab the sides of the head and press the thumbs into the eyes. And then I also have larger ones, these larger ones that we use for palm strikes, striking to the imaginary nose right here. We use these also for the knee to the groin, hold them down here against the back leg for a knee to the groin, and we brace them on the floor, often against a wall, to practice the kicks, the front snap kick and side kick, things like that. And we lay them on the floor to practice stomping, as if we're stomping on a foot. So I teach them how to hold those safely. They pair up with each other. They hold them for each other, and if anyone in the class is not comfortable holding them, then I will step in and I can hold them for students as well. So I coach them on how to strike and kick really as hard as they can. Full force is what we call it. And I explained that, in class you might be a little nervous, you might have a little adrenaline, but in real life you're going to have a whole lot of adrenaline and a whole lot of extra energy and way more power than you actually experience in a classroom where you're actually safe. So that's a little bit about the physical techniques. I do also teach ground defense. I just mentioned a bunch of standing techniques, but I have a whole ground defense section as well. And in a 4-week class, if that's what your child signed up for, then the 4th class is when we do some of that ground defense. Okay, I'm noticing on my camera here that video is already at 13 minutes. What else? Okay, verbal self-defense, super important. I also teach them about boundaries, about having a voice, speaking up, speaking loud enough to be heard, and speaking in a clear, direct, firm manner in common everyday situations, not necessarily during an assault. Well, yes, we're going to be very loud and firm and commanding if we're in danger and someone is approaching us in an aggressive way and we're afraid for our safety. But I'm also talking about common everyday situations, like the ones I mentioned when I mentioned peer pressure. If someone were to say, hey, come to this party, we're all gonna get high, that if that's truly not the right choice for your child, for an individual person, then I teach them how to say, no thanks, have fun, I'm gonna do something else, right? Or, please don't touch me, or get your hands off me, or I'm not comfortable on the phone anymore, I need to go, bye. So all kinds of things about boundaries and saying no, and that saying no is a valid answer. And that in real life we might say, no thank you, we might be polite, but bottom line, if you are afraid for your safety and a person is being aggressive and they're not respecting the initial boundaries that you set, then I talk to them about shifting into verbal self-defense, which is much more loud, intense commands. And I'm not going to yell right now. I'm actually outside on my patio and I don't want to disturb all my neighbors. But I teach all of my classes, all my students, loud, powerful, commanding yells, which, and we also talk about body language. You can't see my feet right now, but my feet are apart, my knees are bent, my hands are up, and this is what we call defensive stance. I teach them defensive stance. The hands like this are called the stop sign, communicating stop. Even if you didn't speak or you spoke a different language from the person you're interacting with, everyone knows that this means stop. So we talk about body language, walking tall, walking with confidence, speaking with confidence, how to greet people, shake someone's hand and say, "Hi, I'm Jade, good to meet you," rather than having kind of a limp handshake and having a very soft voice that tends to communicate, "I'm really insecure and shy and scared of meeting people," things like that. And the reason it's important for them to understand the difference between a very passive, shy or insecure response and a strong, confident response is because dangerous people in the world, whether they're other kids, older kids or adults, strangers or people we know, they are looking for someone that appears to be an easy target. So passive, timid behavior that shows that we're insecure and lack confidence, that gives off the impression that we are an easy target, someone they could easily physically control or intimidate, verbally or emotionally, mentally intimidate, and someone that would be too insecure, too scared to call the police later and make a report. So I talk about that, how important it is that we carry ourselves with confidence, because most people are safe. This is another important thing I want parents to know. I teach all my students, most people are safe. Most kids your age are safe. Some are dangerous. Most older teenagers are safe, but some of them are dangerous. Most adults are safe, but some are dangerous. Most women are safe, but some women can be dangerous. Most men are safe, but some men are dangerous. Most elderly people are safe, but some elderly people are dangerous. So, and that's true with all races. So gender, race, sexual orientation, religion, where someone comes from in the world. Pick a category, any category. Most of those people are safe, and some of them are dangerous. And so it's important that just we're mentally and emotionally prepared that we could be dealing with someone that we always thought was safe, who had never shown themselves to be inappropriate or disrespectful before, or aggressive or abusive before. And those situations are really the hardest, because we're often not prepared emotionally to yell at someone in a loud, fierce manner or kick them hard to try and cause them pain. We're not mentally and emotionally prepared typically to do that to someone we care about, where we're going through this moment of shock, like, how could this be happening? I've known this person for 5 years, 10 years, my whole life, and I thought they were always cool, nice, smart, fun, respectful, gracious, and now they're crossing my boundaries. They're touching me in a way I don't like. They are being aggressive or abusive, and there can be this confusion, right? And so we have to talk about that, so that if it ever happens, that moment where we're mentally adjusting to what's happening is quick, and we're able to say, "Hey, stop, get away from me," right away, and respond quickly, effectively, back away, walk away, run away, whatever we need to get away, and physically fight back if we need to. Okay, so if you have any questions about what I cover in class, please contact me. You can it's very likely if you are seeing this video, you already either have my email or my phone number, or you found me on Facebook or Instagram. So please contact me if you have any questions. También hablo español y puedo hablar con parientes or cuidadores en español también. Thank you so much, and thank you so much for enrolling your child in my class. You are supporting them in learning skills that are transformative, life-saving, life-changing skills. I had a student many years ago when at the University of California who contacted me like 10 years later. She found me online and she sent me this incredible email and she said, Jade, thanks to your class that I took, way back when she was like 19 or 20 in college, I was able to travel by myself to Thailand, had an incredible experience, and was very alert and aware the whole time. I met amazing people. I had an amazing time. And there was this one time where I noticed this man was following me. And I kept my eye on him, and as he got closer, and then I turned around and I stood in defensive stance and I looked at him, and he saw me, and he immediately turned around and walked away. And she said, I'm so grateful for your class because I was prepared. Another student, an adult, she said, Jade, thanks to your class, I had the confidence to pursue one of my dreams, which was to become a pilot. And she went and took flying lessons and became a pilot. So this is not just about defending ourselves in dangerous situations or getting out of an abusive dating relationship, things like that. Those are hugely important, of course, but it's also about just deepening our self-love, self-respect, self-acceptance, our sense of self-worth, and our ability to take really good care of ourselves. And that part of that self-care is not tolerating bad behavior, not tolerating disrespectful behavior or abusive behavior, and being alert and aware to the reality that, hey, most places are safe, but some places are dangerous. Most people are safe and some people are dangerous. And we want ourselves to be prepared. We want our kids to be prepared. I'm a mom. My daughter's 21. She had my class. She had my mother's and daughter's class when she was 10, when she was 11, when she was 12, and then took teen classes when she was 13 and 14. At 15, she would huff and roll her eyes and say, Mom, I've taken your class so many times. I don't need it anymore. I'm good. I know what to do. And so as a mom, parent to parent, I know how much we love our kids and how much we want them to be safe. We want them to be confident. We want them to have a voice. We want them to have that confidence to pursue their dreams and all of that. So thank you so much. I can't wait for class to start and to meet your kids. Bye.